We've seen them at their best. We've seen them at their worst. And today I'm here to flesh out in detail which moments those were and what made them so great or so bad. Miranda and Che are by far one of the most polarizing queer couples I've seen on TV in the last few years, and this video is going to show you exactly why.
Hey, it's Che Diaz.
Oh, hey, it's Rambo.
And I want to thank our LGBTQ plus allies. Yes, I see you. He doesn't know you're in an open marriage?
Starting our best moments list off in order from worst to greatest, at number 3 is Che's introduction to Miranda at Big's funeral. I love how Miranda comes at Che like an Italian mob boss in this scene. We start this relationship off with Che kneeling on the ground below Miranda. Things will quickly take a turn, and by the end will be completely the opposite, with Miranda almost idolizing Che and choosing to follow Che to LA.
Mom.
I don't know who you are or where you came from, but trust me, you don't want to mess with me.
And it was in this moment that I knew we were gonna get a Miranda Che hookup. They just have too much chemistry. Miranda has this line at the end of their initial meeting where she says, "I have no intention of slowing my anything." And if you look back at how fast Miranda and Che actually happened and how quickly Miranda ends up doing a complete 180 with her life, that line was almost foreshadowing her season 1 plot line.
You don't seem like a Miranda.
What do I seem like?
A Rambo. Yeah.
All right, coming in at number 2 in my best moments list for Chambo, don't at me, is Che telling Miranda to ask for what she wants. It was fun watching Che call Miranda out for her being weirdness.
I've been fine, thank you. And yourself?
What's going on? Why are you being weird?
I think it's hilarious when people obviously have something on their mind, but instead are choosing to pretend everything's okay. Oh, no. Nothing. No, I'm fine. Nothing.
It's all good.
Excuse me, it is not all good. Like, your face just turned into one of the Death Eaters from Harry Potter. Yeah, I guess we can talk about whether it's gonna snow tomorrow, but will you please tell me what the is going on?
You never wrote me back.
You wrote me?
DM'd me back, or whatever.
This line is funny every time I rewatch this scene. When Jay's like, "You wrote me?" Like with a pen and a paper and a stamp? Is that even a thing anymore? I even still have a post office after Trump? One of the things I enjoy about Miranda and Che's relationship is that it brought out this kind of goofy side to Miranda that I don't really remember seeing in the original series.
You should have just DM'd me again. Ask for what you want.
Oh my god, these smoky eyes staring holes into your thing is working for Che. Like, who wouldn't immediately drop some pan at that line? The number 1 Che and Miranda moment by far for me is Che shotgunning Miranda at the VIP after party.
Last part?
No, that's, Sir Isaac Newton. It's on the side of one of my water bottles. You were so amazing up there. Amazing.
Do you mind if I shotgun you?
This was probably their hottest scene together of the whole season, in my opinion. Plus, Miranda's not actually shoving her adultering tongue down Che's throat yet, so the poor Steve sentiment kind of gets overshadowed by the hotness of this almost kiss. Che's at the height of their I can do no wrongness in this episode. We haven't yet been fed the little breadcrumbs about Che potentially being a player. Plus, we haven't yet had the misfortune of watching Che blast Miranda like 2 feet away from a very sick and vulnerable Carrie. What's interesting rewatching this scene is that Miranda mirrors the 2 women who are fangirling over Che later on in the season at the Wexley's charity event. On the first watch, Miranda comes off somewhat vulnerable, maybe even a little charming with her Isaac Newton reference. But when I watched this the second time around, you actually end up understanding Che's point of view a little better, because you know that this is nothing new. Che has women doing this to them all the time. So when Che literally asks Miranda to stop talking the second time watching it, it's not like this hot person line. It's like a very understandable reaction from somebody who apparently has hot older women swooning over them all the time.
Okay.
Miranda being Miranda the Goof, which is how she often acts around Che, she opens her mouth like a fish to prepare for the incoming shotgun. God! It quickly goes from goof to bulletproof. Guarantee they will be soon, because this slow-mo is just... If only things stayed so hot. As the season wore on, Steve slowly turned into a 100-year-old cucumber with dementia, while Miranda and Che's relationship got... icky? Starting off the list of Miranda and Che's worst moments, from best to worst, is number 3. Che telling Miranda they're moving across country on stage in a karaoke bar in the middle of a song with like 50 people there. I'm gonna throw it out there as one of the worst ways ever to communicate life-changing information. It's right below shouting out, "I'm breaking up with you," as you're caught banging somebody who's not your spouse, and right above an investor sending their client a cake saying, "I've defrauded you, you're poor now." Of course, Che obviously thinks this is good news. Che's planning on inviting Miranda to come with them, but still, putting Miranda through that emotional turbulence just so Che can jack themselves off, it's no good. Number 2 on the list of Miranda and Che's worst moments comes from episode 8, and it's a little thing I like to call the biggest dropped plot of the whole season. Of course, I'm talking about "I'm going to Cleveland," the famous phone call Miranda makes to Carrie on the way to the airport. She's flying to Ohio to surprise Che. It's this huge moment at the end of the episode. It felt like the biggest cliffhanger of the whole season, and they dropped that like a post-Taco Bell deuce. We arrived at the next episode with no mention or reference whatsoever to Cleveland. I don't even know why they showed us this scene. They could have pulled a texting Samantha thing and had Miranda text Che something along the lines of, "Hey Che, I just casually dropped my husband like a cold dead fish. Would like to bang again. Won't be as hot this time. No married husband hanging around in the background making it all hot and spicy. Just boring. I'm in love with you and will one day dye my hair to stand apart from your grandma's sex." Not only was this confusing, it was a huge momentum killer for the season. They go from having all this built-up tension around Miranda and Che, and Miranda possibly discovering something when Miranda does meet Che, and they popped it like a balloon. The rest of the series kind of flapped in the wind like an aired-out whoopee cushion.
What? Where are you going?
To Cleveland. I'm gonna surprise Che at their show and tell them that we can be together. I'm in a rom-com, Carrie.
All right, the number 1 worst moment for Miranda and Che of the season. I'm sorry, it has to be Carrie pissing in a bottle while Miranda screams like Che's axe-murdering her. Why, when they get there, does Che proceed to smoke Carrie's kitchen and loudly rocket the pocket just 2 feet away from Carrie when this woman is trying to recover? Why are they trying to disgust us in this sex scene? What purpose does it serve to gross us out with this Carrie peeing thing? This isn't Fear Factor. It's not a horror show where the more you have to cover your eyes, the better it is. Like, this is a Sex and the City reboot. I remember seeing a lot of I even remember them showing us Miranda's hairy from the movie. But this topped it all. Well, I'm gonna end the video on Miranda's hairy. Let me know in the comments what I got right and what I got wrong. All right, I'm Amanda. This is my Really Gay YouTube channel. Thank you for being patient with me. This week, my publishing schedule has been a little bit different because of the delays from last week. I went and visited my sister, my brother-in-law, and my niece, me and Ro. We really bonded with my niece. And so thank you so much for being patient. I hope all of you are having a great week, and I will see you next video.